Now, today we'll be discussing the reproductive system. As we know, the first reproductive event is gametogenesis, but to understand gametogenesis, we should understand first what are the reproductive organs which is involved in this process, right? So, first we'll be starting with the first reproductive system, that is a male reproductive system. The male reproductive system is located in the pelvis region, right? It consists of a pair of testes, genital duct, accessory gland, and external genitalia, right? Now, the first organ, that is pair of testes. Let's talk about the pair of testes. The testes are oval in shape. They are paired, that is two in number. They are normally located outside the abdominal cavity inside the pouch called scrotum. The scrotum is that pouch which consists of the pair of testes. The length of each testis will be 4 to 5 centimeter and the breadth is called as 2 to 3 centimeter, right? So near about the testes will be like in this way, 4 to 5 centimeter, and the breadth will be 2 to 3 centimeter. During early fetal life, the testes develop into the abdominal cavity. Just now we have discussed the location that testes are located outside the abdominal cavity, but during early fetal life of a male individual, these testes are located in the abdominal cavity just below the kidney, then they descend into the scrotum. They descend into the scrotum at the arrival of 7 month, 6 to 7 month. Initially, these testes are located in the abdominal cavity only. Later on, when the fetus grow up to the month of 6 to 7 month, the testes will descend into the outside the abdominal cavity and inside that pouch that is called as scrotum, right? Now each testis is suspended in the scrotum by, as we know that initially they are connected with the abdominal cavity, they are located in the abdominal cavity and they descend into the scrotum. Now that descending of the testes into the scrotum, that too have the connection, or that too is suspended by the help of a cord like structure. That is what we are talking about here. Each testis is suspended in the scrotum by spermatic cord. Remember that. These spermatic cord are formed by the artery, vein, and the nerves, which help to supply blood to the testes. Right? So each testis is suspended in the scrotum by the spermatic cord. And that spermatic cord is formed from the spermatic artery, vein, and nerve. Scrotum remain connected with the abdomen by a inguinal canal. In case if this inguinal canal, or in case the scrotum, or in any case if this inguinal canal get teared off, then this will lead to the inguinal hernia. The tearing of inguinal canal or inguinal tissue may result in the bulging out of the loop of intestine into the scrotum. Scrotum normally carries testes, but if the pressure, or you can say if too much weight is taken by any male individual, or lifted by any male individual without taking any you can say precautions, in that condition at times it happened that this inguinal canal or tissue may teared off, and which will result in the bulging of the intestine into the scrotum, and that condition is called as inguinal hernia. Scrotum helps in maintaining the low temperature. What is the function of scrotum now? It helps in maintaining the low temperature of the testes near about 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature. Normally we have the body temperature that is 37 degrees Celsius, and below this 37 degrees Celsius by 2 to 2.5, or in some books you may see 3 degrees Celsius as well. So the normal temperature of the scrotum will be, the normal temperature of the testes will be, because scrotum is maintaining that temperature, and the temperature which is required for the testes is, that is 35 or 34 degree Celsius, and this much low temperature is required and it is necessary for the sperm production. If the temperature would raise or if the temperature would get down, in that condition, the sperm production will not take place. Now, this testes is surrounded by the dense covering called tunicae. If we see the structure of testes, it is surrounded by the dense covering called tunicae. This tunicae is a collective term given for three different layers, that is tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea, tunica vasculosa. Tunica vaginalis is the outer covering of the testes. Tunica albuginea is the middle covering of the testes, that is fibrous covering surrounding the testes situated under the tunica vaginalis. That means first is the tunica vaginalis, after that tunica albigina, and the last, the inner one. Last means the inner one. Tunica vasculosa, which consists of a network of capillaries which is supported by a, or you can say, delicate connective tissue. These network of capillaries will provide blood supply to the testes. Now, each testes has about 250 compartment called testicular lobules. I'm talking about the internally. If you could not understand, if you could not connect this point, let us take the example with the help of a diagram here. So let us understand with the help of a diagram. Just now I told you that these testes are located in the scrotum. Outside this we have the scrotum pouch, right? And each testis is covered by a three layer, that is tunicae. These three layer, tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea and tunica vasculosa, is called as tunicae, right? The tunica vaginalis is the outermost layer, you can see here. Tunica albuginea is the middle layer, which is the fibrous layer. Tunica vasculosa is the innermost layer and having the fine capillaries. These are the tunica vasculosa. This layer is the tunica vasculosa. It carries the fine capillaries which provide the blood to the internal structure of a testis. Now, each testis, means both the testis I'm talking about, each testis have a 250 compartment like structure. These are the compartment actually. I have not drawn 250 compartment here. It is not possible to draw. So, this is just for the example, or you can say just a hypothetical diagram. One compartment, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in this way 250 compartments are there in the testes internally. Each compartment carry a highly coiled structure. Each compartment, this 1, 2, 3 and till 250, each compartment will carry highly coiled structure. This coiled structure is called as seminiferous tubule, right? And the division of these compartment, the lining which demark these two compartment or those 250 compartment from one another, are called as septa of testes, right? The compartment are called as testicular lobule. Each testicular lobule consists of highly coiled 2 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule. Now this seminiferous tubule, if we see the diagram, this is the sectional view of seminiferous tubule. The seminiferous tubule have the germinal layer. These germinal layer are normally have the majority of cell which is called as you can say cuboidal cell, as you can see here, cuboidal cell, which will give rise to male germ, means male cell, male gamete. Initially these cuboidal cell are called as the spermatogonia. But in between these cuboidal cell, you may see a different shape of a structure here. These are not cuboidal cell. Actually, these cells are few in number and these cells are called as Sertoli cell or nursing cell as well. The spermatogonium will further divide, will further undergo into mitosis and meiosis both to form spermatozoa, that is sperm, right? So this is the lining of a seminiferous tubule which is called as germ cell. These germ cells are made up of cuboidal cell. Majority are their cuboidal cell. These cuboidal cell is called as spermatogonium. Spermatogonium will undergo into division to form primary spermatocyte. Primary spermatocyte will undergo again a division called, and the structure which will form after the division is called as secondary spermatocyte. Secondary spermatocyte will form spermatid and spermatid later on transform itself into the spermatozoa. Spermatid further will not divide. It will transform itself into the spermatozoa, right? However, I have drawn a tail with it and I have labeled spermatid, but the spermatid do not have tail with it. Remember this. If we draw this structure, if I label it spermatid, this is the correct one. Spermatid is the structure which do not have tail. Later on, when it develop the tail, it will convert to sperm or spermatozoa, right? Now, out of all these cells, the cells which I am talking about here, the elongated cell, they are called as Sertoli cell or nourishing cell. As the name suggests, nursing cells, nourishing cells, Sertoli cells, they give nourishment, they provide nourishment to the developing spermatozoa. Remember this, right?